Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, representing the squad today, and I'm showing you a really spicy Metamorphosis deck. It's an update. Originally I was doing Metamorphosis, True King, True Dracos. I'm still doing that, but this time we're incorporating Electrum in the mix. This deck makes it more madness, just more shenanigans, more unfair nonsense. This deck is really powerful. It has just as high a ceiling as pure Metalfoe Dracos, except now you have access to rank 9s and different cards that can completely lock your opponent down, and also a more combo-oriented build that enables you to do more things than you naturally couldn't do, and also it makes your playstyle beyond linear. This is one of the very few Pendulum decks that never loses to barrier because it can link, fusion, XYZ, Pendulum summon. It's just crazy what it can do, and its main deck can get the job done without going into the extra deck through pure mechanic of beatdown and also playing Masterpeace. So without further ado, let's hop right into this deck profile. So I always start with my True King lineup. Agni Mizzou, the Vanisher, is obviously your standalone best True King to play in this deck because almost all your monsters are fire, and he's also going to have some cool synergy when you pop your Bismuth gear. But you pretty much want to reveal him and destroy one of them alongside one of the Barastos. That is going to instantly become your Calamaties. And when you do Calamaties, you always want to do it in a zone that Electrum points to. Or if you want to switch zones, if you want to do Electrum and then summon in the extra monster zones, then link with him and go into something else like Electrum plus a Metalfoe will go into Doolittle Chimera. Then you can put your Calamities there. Either way, you always want to summon Calamities last because he's going to be the icing on the cake, the finishing your board. And then we play one copy of Masterpeace. One works just fine in this build because we're more focused on the True Kings than we are on the Masterpeace. But I wanted to keep it as compact as possible so that you don't open up with too many of either of these. Realistically, you just want to open up with one of these plus a diagram or just double diagram. Either way, it's fine. So that's it for your True Kings and your the real True King, the True Draco Slaying King. Now for the Metalfoes, we pretty much just have 3 of the best Metalfoes, 3 Volt Flame, 3 Gold Driver. We also play 3 copies of Silver, 3 copies of Stillin, and I personally still like Bismuth a lot. I wanted to play 2 of them. I really like him. He's the only Metalfoes with an effect. A lot of people don't play him. I still like the one because it does matter and it does come up a lot. The ability to search, because sometimes I have a full Metalfoes fusion and the ability to do the combination combo, but I don't have that extra Metalfoes either on the field or in the hand. So the in-phase search will set you up to do the Alkaheist play on your opponent's turn. It's better to summon Alkaheist during their standby because it's just like, it's better to catch them off guard that way. Because then, like, when you don't summon it on your turn, they assume that you don't have it. So, like, it'll just throw their plan off. So, Bismuth gear does increase your ceiling just by having it in your Metalfoes lineup. At least try one. And then we have some really good Pendulum Monsters. We have 3 Astro and 3 Chrono. Now, these cards are a lot easier to resolve in a Metalfoes deck because you're constantly destroying cards. And the True Kings are constantly destroying cards. Your diagram is constantly destroying cards. There's never not a time when you have these in your hand and you can't trigger them. They're never dead. There's a lot of combos you can do with these. And the reason why I only play these and not the Time Gazer and Stargazer is because their counterparts don't matter. You're always going to be able to summon these from your hand, and I prefer to summon them from my hand through other means versus playing them in scale and trying to summon Electrum that way. You're always going to be able to summon Electrum just by special summoning these from the hand. So you also don't have to play the 2 bricks, or you could just play the bricks. If it works for you, it works for you. But I just play these 6 because they help you out a lot. So these are the 9 cards that are going to be turboing out your Electro before you Pendulum summon. I felt that 9 was the optimal ratio and number. This is not an Electrum turbo deck. Even though Heavy Metalfoes Electrum belongs to the Metalfoe archetype, it is their card. You don't really need more than 9. I feel like it's just going to be overkill because I actually play the True King engine in here. If you weren't playing True Kings, you can cut out all the True Kings, put in 1 more Masterpiece, and then you can put in 3 Rescue Hamsters. Bam, problem solved if you want to do like more turbo. For me, I feel like Chronograph would give me more value than Hamster because there's an extra deck card known as Naruto, the Moral Leader, that I feel like increases my ceiling just by having in my arsenal versus Hamster, which is only going to be able to make Electrum or rank 4. Yeah, Hamster, because I'm confusing Rabbit with Hamster. So I just do these 9 cards to make my Electrum. Obviously, Rabbit also can just go into any extra deck card that you need him to. Realistically, he's the 1 card Fusion. He's a 1 card Baguska. He can be a Break Sword if you need him to. Doesn't really matter. And then for your spells, we play 3 copies of Double D. And I'm always staying with the spice, man. We play Metamorphosis. This card is actually insane. There's no Metalfoe players. You're never going to catch them playing this. I see value in cards that people think are bad, and then people see the value in it after I show them, and then they start net decking me. That's fine, but we have the Metaformation because it's honestly one of the best cards in our deck. It increases your ceiling by at least another 12% because of the ratio and probability you have of opening up with it and searching out through your terraformings. You're pretty much going to make monsters that are more invincible than Masterpeace and a lot harder to get over, and they're always going to be able to be recurable and float. And you can't ogre this field spell. It's just a continuous effect that's going to give all your Metalfoes a 300 boost, and your non-effect Metalfoes are all unaffected by your opponent's card effects. So your opponent cannot deal with them except by battle or a kaiju. And the cool thing is, this helps them to be a little bit more resilient in regards that your opponent's not going to be able to always attack over him because you summon beaters now. So I like this a lot. I like to slap a really powerful fusion that's a non-effect, like our Amorite, next to a Masterpiece, or even just Pendulum summon all your Metalfoes from hand, and your opponent can't do anything to them. It's really strong. I just like it as a one-up. I definitely recommend if you're playing Metalfoes, it's never going to hurt you to play this card. It's actually insane. So you have your 4 field spells, your 3 Optimus Prime to search them out. Then we have some one-ups. We have 1 Summoner's Art, 1 Painful Decision, 1 Metalfoes Fusion, 1 Full Metalfoes Fusion, and 1 Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. This card not only recycles your Masterpiece because you play 1, but whenever you go into Calamities, you burn through 3 of your 5 True Kings. It's important to put them back because you can recycle your Calamities and recycle them and make another one. And it just helps having it because also now you do have the ability to make your Masterpiece unaffected by spells, which is actually necessary. Most Metalfoes Draco lists only play Return and 2 Masterpiece. I think it's incorrect to not play this card because of all the reasons that I just aforementioned. That's going to conclude your spell lineup. Now for our traps, we have 3 Metalfoes combination. You actually cycle through 3 of these almost every single first turn and put 2 of them back with Methurium. This is insane with Diagram. You're going to just, when you open Diagram and a Metalfoes, you can just use the Metalfoes to set this, Diagram pop this, complete your scales. You're going to use your scales to set another one of this. If you have the ability to use Methurium to bounce your Diagram, or just go into another Diagram just off the rip, you're going to be cycling through these a lot. This also allows you to play around Master Rule 4 because you can bring your fusions back from the graveyard to your main monster zone. I like doing Oricalc with Methurium, drop Oricalc, bring Methurium back, and sometimes it'll come up when like you're using this against your using your opponent's fusion monsters against them, because when they fusion summon, you can still trigger this. It's once per turn if a fusion monster is fusion summoned, so I don't always have to be the one doing it. If I'm playing Invokes, they'll help me out by summoning Makaba, who's a higher level than pretty much all my fusions, and I can get anything from my graveyard that I need. It helps you to grind, pretty strong. It's hard to tank with this deck. Then you have 1 Return and also 1 Metalfoes Counter. Another card that Metalfoes players don't run. I feel like this card helps you to grind. It allows you to not be OTK'd, and also adding the resources back from your extra deck, it actually matters. Because Methurium can recycle anything, but once it hits the extra deck, you either use Electrum or it's just there. So this helps out a lot. It's just a great one-up. I recommend those playing Metalfoes at least try one of these. They don't play it, and I don't understand why. We all have different logics, but I feel like this card is definitely worth as a one-up. And also the Metalfoes Field Spell. Those are the cards that I feel like Metalfoes players really need to play. Now our extra deck is 2 Electrum. You don't even need 2 because, you don't even need 3 because you can always recycle this with Methurium. He's the best in his own deck. I really feel like that he really is the best in his own deck. He's insane. There's a lot of synergy with this card. Electrum is a Metalfoes monster. Then we have Doolittle Chimera. He's kind of like your cheap budget Electrum because he has the zones. There is a combo when I go into my Methurium and then do my Vortex play by popping Absolute with the scale. Then go Methurium, Vortex, and then link with this. And either the Methurium or another Metalfoes on field. And then go into Doolittle Chimera. And then put my True King of all Calamities right there. Then you end with Calamities, Methurium, plus Vortex. And that's pretty solid because you can still make Alkaheist during your opponent's standby. So you end up with the Alkaheist, the Calamities, and the Vortex. And if you have the Masterpiece, that's pretty much game right there. It's really strong. And I have opened once with the Calamities and the Masterpiece on my opponent's turn, Alkaheist on my opponent's turn. This pretty much was my board. It looked like this. And then Masterpiece was right here. So like when you look at this board, you think, okay, you know what? I don't even think this evenly matched is gonna do any good like right now because he has the negator for the evenly. This is game time against any deck. There's no deck that's gonna play through this. Not even Herald of Perfection, unfortunately, because Herald won't be able to activate his effect to negate anything due to Calamities restriction, and Masterpiece is like the bane. Man. So it's a really strong board. It's pretty easy to make, believe it or not. your standard opening is always going to get you to it, and it's one of my favorite boards. So you play those 3 link monsters and one more, which is Borload. He's really easy to make because of Electrum and the Astrographs and the Chronographs. Then you have XYZs, you have True King of all Chlamydia, you have Absolute, you have Naruto and Baguska. You always want to make a field full of Disruption, Negates, or just a way to stall so you can OTK, because you normally have the stones in this deck, and 1 turn is all that matters, so Baguska does help over any other generic rank force. And then we have the Fusions, which is what this deck does the absolute most. This is, in its core, I feel like Metalfoes are like a better Fusion deck than they are a Pendulum deck, and that's just my opinion. 3 copies of Mithurium, 1 Orichalc, 1 Crimson Knight, 1 Alkaheist, and the Vortex that comes automatically as a package deal. Now, Alkaheist is pretty solid. It gives you another form of disruption. He's really, really powerful. He gets over a lot of monsters that you struggle with. Orichalc is insane when you fuse with him in Mithurium to go into like another Mithurium, for example. I'm sorry, not another Mithurium, but just to go into like Crimson Knight, for example, or just any fusion that you're able to go into. You can basically pop a card and float with the Mithurium, and pick your chain links accordingly. I like it a lot. This card does double piercing. All your Metalfoes do double piercing. And also, in addition to that, whenever you send for the Filtered Grave, he pops a card. Mithurium's the best one. I play Crimson Knight because I play the field spell. The field spell makes him 3,300, and he's unaffected by everything. So you pretty much have to attack over him, or he's going to stay on the field, and I can just use him to deal with any monsters that are there because he doesn't care about their effects. So that's the reason why I play him. That's going to conclude the deck profile, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. It's really spicy. I do enjoy this deck a lot. It's one of my favorite combo decks. In fact, my favorite playstyle is combo control. I like decks that are able to mentally challenge me, have a lot of extremely powerful combos, and the combos always give me boards that allow me to control my opponent. I think those are the best kind of combo decks versus decks that are just combo oriented that like spam the field and try to OTK. I don't like glass cannon decks. While they're still combo oriented, they're glass cannon. I like decks that have high ceilings, and this is one of them. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay safe. Definitely stay tuned for future content. We're gonna be doing an upload on my Vendreads, an update on my Vendreads, and then we're gonna be doing an update on my Paleozoic deck. And I think that's gonna be it for the day, other than the dual videos that I'm trying to get when I go to Cytex later on tonight. But peace out, y'all. You'll be hearing from me soon.